Boom. Welcome back to the Veteran and Rookie Podcast.
Hey, everybody.
This is your veteran speaking, and of course we got the rookie popping the soda as always.
Always, every single time.
He just got year 2 under his belt though, so I mean, I guess a rookie's only year 1. Still a young enjoyer. How do you feel after year 2?
I feel good. I'm on my rookie contract still. It's the off season. We'll see what I can do in the off season just to improve my skills and just become a better overall enjoyer.
Yeah, I'd say this is a big year for you. If you can really improve your game, especially in year 3, see if they'll pick up your 5th year option for you, keep you around for another year before you have to negotiate any more contract stuff.
Yeah, and I think I could get a good contract. Maybe I'll switch teams, but
I bet you get better contract than Lamar.
Because he doesn't have one.
Mm-hmm. And they still won't sign him. But that is talk for later, whenever he inevitably just stays on the Ravens.
Yeah.
Which is what they should do. I don't know what they are doing. But
not that. They're like, hey, we have a bad team. Let's get rid of our only good player.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good idea.
I like that, yeah.
Yeah, that's how the talk between the coaches and
Pro Bowler Tyler Huntley, replacing him.
Man, that guy, crazy.
Going places, Baltimore.
Athlete.
So today we're just going to be looking back at our 2022 season predictions and see how great I was with them because, I wasn't great in the pick'ems and whatnot, but I should have just gone with what I had picked originally, nailed it, and luckily for John, he didn't go with what he had picked originally.
Yeah. Let's start off with pick'ems. Did you calculate the win percentage?
Oh, yes, yeah. I did. So I guess, we'll hit our pick'ems real quick because, like I said, he did beat me in that one. He was 166, 103, and 2. It comes out to a .617 win percentage.
Not great.
I was 150, 119, and 2, .557, so still above 500. And at mid-season, I was very much below 500. So I will take being solidly above 500.
I think that's about the same as the Lions ended, right?
They were below 500. They were 7-10.
No, the Lions ended with a 9-8 because they beat Green Bay.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, and then Green Bay ended with an 8-9.
Let's see.
I think so. I thought so.
Let me see real quick. 9-8, and then Green Bay was 8-9. Yep.
Okay.
So but Lions then.
Lions were second in their division.
They were. I was thinking 7-10 though because I was looking at the predictions there.
Yeah. And
I had mine on top, and I did predict the Lions to go 7-10. And then you in that episode called me crazy.
I did probably.
You did because you had the Lions winning 3 games.
Yeah. I think I was pretty based, but
clearly not.
I saw statistics today. It was ranking 2 quarterbacks just on their stats.
Mm-hmm.
And it was something like 4,400 yards to 43 or 46 or something. And then I think it was 28 touchdowns to 30 or something like that. And then 3 turnovers for the one guy and 10 turnovers for the other guy. And a pass percentage, a completion percentage of 60% for the first guy. And then 58 or something for the second guy.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody took the first guy because, turnovers and more accuracy, a bit less yards and a few less touchdowns. But it turned out to be Jared Goff and Justin Herbert, excuse me.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah, Goff balled out, dude.
Goff is good when you get good players around him, but you can't ask him to carry your team.
Yeah, he's not.
There's the thing with him. He has to have good playmakers around him. And so as long as the Lions can keep having good playmakers around him and as long as they don't have to overpay him, they'll be solid with him. And I think they should stick with him because when they traded for Goff, it kind of felt like he was a 1 or 2 year rental until they found their real guy. And I think he can be their guy for them going forward.
Yeah,
I think he's proven himself.
They have 2 solid running backs, or a solid running back and a really good running back. And
a really hot and cold running back.
Well, yeah. He's
and then a running back who broke all of Barry Sanders' rushing touchdown records.
I was saying that Jamal Williams was better.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying Swift was the really good one.
No. Swift is I think Swift's a better open field runner,
mm-hmm.
but with people around going up the middle and definitely at the end zone, in the red zone, Jamal Williams is better.
Oh yeah, he owned it. I'm not counting on him to do that next year though, because that rarely happens.
Back-to-back good years.
Yeah, where would you just score like 18 touchdowns? Because James Conner, I know, did that a couple years ago, and then everyone in fantasy was picking him up the next year, and he scored like 3 touchdowns.
Kind of like a Jonathan Taylor thing.
Yep, exactly. Just I think he was a one-year wonder, but we'll hit that whenever we get to talking about fantasy in the summer or whenever.
Yeah, we'll hit that later.
Yeah. Let's just jump right into these predictions that we had. Starting in the NFC North, I already hit the Lions there with 7-10. We both nailed the Bears, going 3-14.
Nice.
Getting that first overall pick.
Yes, sir.
I had the Vikings going 9-8 and grabbing themselves a wild card spot. You had them going 11-6 and also getting a wild card spot, and we both had the Packers going 12-5.
Didn't happen.
It did not happen. They fell off.
Did not make 500.
They didn't. They were close until they couldn't beat the Lions in a win-and-in situation.
Dan Campbell
went after Aaron Rodgers' kneecaps.
Aaron Rodgers' daddy. I'd like Dan Campbell to be my daddy.
I'm sure you would.
I love him. He's my favorite coach.
So, I mean, we weren't horribly off in the North. Obviously, put the Vikings on top there. And then the Packers were a big one.
I was 1 off for the Vikings.
Yeah, you were. No, 2 off. But
did they have 13?
They were 13-4. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's right.
Right. They didn't feel like a 13-win team.
Not in the playoffs.
And then I was a lot closer with the Lions there, and we both absolutely nailed how bad the Bears were going to be.
We killed them.
I think we also had them both picking first. No, actually, I didn't have them picking first overall. I had another team doing worse than them. We'll get to that in a second. Both my hands are full. John just tried to give me a high five, and I have a mic in one hand and a phone in the other. So there's not a whole lot I can do.
Headbutt it next time.
We both had the same 1 seeds in both conferences, but starting in the NFC, you had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going 16-1.
I don't know how that happened. Okay, I do know how that happened. I was picking on a website, and I couldn't see how many I'd picked for each one, and that's my picks are funky. They're bad, but
yeah, you'll see as we keep going through the NFC.
Yeah, it's real bad. But I didn't go like to each team and say, yeah, they're going to be a 16-1 team.
You picked them how you thought they were going to win the games.
How I thought they were going to win the games, but
which is how I think you probably should do it. But maybe like every now and again, take a look at the standings. Hey, yeah, you thought the Bucs were going to be really good, and they won. They won half those games. Yeah. 8-9.
They did.
I was really high on the Bucs too. I had them going 13-4.
Stupid.
And getting the 1 seed. So, not great there. That was kind of surprising. We both had them as the 1 seed, even when we thought they were still going to be good. That we both thought they were going to be that good.
I'm ashamed of Benaya. I'm the rookie, and he has been watching football.
Oh, you already had a year of experience.
I did not. That was college. That was my college year. I wasn't watching.
That's what I call the Tom Brady effect. Because we talked about in that episode about how the Bucs had lost 3 offensive linemen, and of course you had a new head coach, but that didn't affect us. No, Tom Brady, he's there, and he will continue to play good.
No, he will not. He will not can play at all, and he won't be able to go home to his wife or kids or anything.
That's why I didn't know he was going to get divorced. If I had known that, I would have predicted an 8-win season for the Bucs.
I also would have.
You got to give us all the context, man.
Yeah, come on. Script writers are not being fair to us.
Give us a heads up next time. Continuing now in the NFC South, I had the Saints going 8-9, and I think they went 7-10. So not too badly off there. Yeah, pull up the standings. I don't have to keep switching between apps.
Sorry.
But yeah, I had the Saints going 8-9 and grabbing themselves a wild card spot because I was like, the NFC looks really weak. And it kind of was. The Bucs actually did make the playoffs with an 8-9 record, so they weren't too
top
hot.
of their division.
And then you had the Panthers, similarly to my Saints prediction, going 8-9 and grabbing a wild card spot. Then I had the Panthers going 7-10. You had the Saints going 7-10, which I think the Panthers did go 7-10, didn't they?
Panthers went 7-10. Saints went 7-10. Falcons went 7-10.
Falcons went 7-10. My Falcons prediction was 4-13,
bit off, but
a little bit off, but not quite as bad as your 3-14.
yeah.
So, yeah, we were both really low on the Falcons, and at one point they were, I think, on top of that division, or at least tied for it, and then they kind of just choked at the end of the year. They very well, any of those teams could have very well made the playoffs, but they still let Tom Brady do it.
Yeah, they are all tied for second in their division.
Good for them, you know?
And Tom Brady still.
And now that the Bucs are getting even worse, what's going to happen in the NFC South next year? I know we have a whole offseason to go through because I feel like at least two of those teams are going to be getting new quarterbacks.
My way too early predictions, because we're going to do this next week, but I think the Panthers are going to be on top of the NFC South.
I think my way too early prediction is the Falcons.
Kill yourself.
But we'll see. I'm thinking about it.
All right.
Yeah, continuing to the NFC West, home of the, at the time, defending Super Bowl champion, LA Rams. And, you know, why not go back to back? I had them going 13-4.
They went
getting one of the top seeds.
12.
You had them going 15-2. And if I look at my notes here, I quote, said, you couldn't see them doing any worse than 12-5.
Well, they went 5-12, so
maybe that's what you meant to say. You meant to say
I was basically right.
You basically nailed it.
Hey, but
that's the prediction I was talking about
they
earlier.
They were supposed to not be this dog trash.
Yeah, they started off bad, and then injuries started really piling up after a mediocre start.
And they lost the best receiver in the league. So
Stafford was never healthy.
Yeah,
because remember at the beginning of the season he had that hurt shoulder, and then that just got worse and worse, and he kept getting banged up, and then we got John Wolford and then Baker Mayfield.
He won him a game.
He did. He won him several. He put up 50 points on the Broncos on Christmas, on the Broncos defense.
He hung 50 on the Broncos, man.
Happy Christmas, Baker Mayfield.
Judas.
Yeah, you had them going 15-2, so
not what they
little bit high. You had the Cardinals second in the division at 9-8, grabbing a wild card berth.
Who can blame me, right?
I can blame you. I had the 49ers second in the West, going 11-6 and grabbing a wild card spot because I thought, Trey Lance, and that it would maybe take a little bit of time for him to develop, but, it's still on a very good team, and that, they would be able to get into the playoffs. I took Trey Lance in my fantasy draft in the 4th round, which was a mistake. David was right.
You know what's funny?
What's funny?
I think I had 2 players that I drafted at the beginning of the year. At the end of the year. Yeah.
Was it like Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Amon-Ra St. Brown and I can't remember the other one, but
because Kupp was hurt.
Couldn't use him, and Pitts was terrible, and Rodgers was bad, so I had Goff.
You had Goff. Oh man, I had the choice in like week 3 or whatever. I needed to pick up a backup quarterback because Trey Lance got hurt. And I was like, well, 2 quarterbacks put up some like 30-plus point games in weeks 1 and 2. And they were Jared Goff and Carson Wentz. And I went with Wentz.
You sure did.
I did, and that was my mistake.
Sure was.
It wasn't my only mistake, but it was one that I made.
Yeah, and I won the Pooper Bowl against you.
You did. Congratulations.
Thank you.
NFC West, continuing there. So, yeah, you had the Cardinals getting a wild card spot. In 3rd place, I had the Cardinals going 7-10.
Okay,
they only won 4 games.
You were bagging on me for doing 8-9, and you had 7-10.
You had 9-8, but yeah, and you also had them making the playoffs.
Yeah, but a 9-8 making the playoffs is not that much different than a 7-10.
Than a 7-10 and missing the playoffs.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess I had them a little higher. I remember saying I would have put them lower, but it just felt wrong because they were coming off an 11-win season. I was like, I don't see them winning only 5 games or whatever. And then they won 4 games. And they were just...
You were right.
I mean, I was basically right. Like, I thought about it. I thought about them being really bad.
All right, keep it rolling.
So, I absolutely nailed that. You had the 49ers going 8-9 for some reason.
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't know that they were a good team. I didn't
They were at the NFC Championship game the year before.
I didn't watch it. I watched the Super Bowl and a couple Bills games and a couple games with my players in it the year before last because I wasn't watching. I wasn't watching football.
So 2021 is basically like almost like your redshirt year.
Yeah,
in
it
college.
was my introductory.
Yeah, you were kind of, riding the bench. You weren't even... So this was like your real rookie year. You're like Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Your first year got destroyed by terrible coaching.
I wasn't even playing my first year.
No.
Chill. Calm down, man. Calm down.
You're like Tom Brady. He didn't play at all his first year.
Yeah, sure.
And then we were both very low on the Seahawks. I had them going 3-14, getting that first overall pick. I said something along the lines in our first episode there about what a miserable quarterback competition that was between Drew Lock and Geno Smith. And, Geno, we wrote him off, and he ain't riding back.
You said riding.
I said writing.
It still sounds like riding.
Writing. Is that better? You like that?
Seahawks country.
Seahawks country, let's ride.
Okay.
You had them going 4-13, so still very bad.
I was closer. You're right.
But that was that would have been like the third or fourth overall pick.
Nice.
In the draft.
They made the playoffs.
They did.
Good for Geno, man. Good for Geno.
They stuck with the 49ers until the third quarter, so, good for them.
They sure did.
Continuing now, last division in the NFC, got the East. And you called me crazy for picking the Eagles to win this division, and I only had them winning 10 games. 10-7, winning the division, because I didn't think the East was going to be great because it hadn't been very good for the last few years. But, I had them making the playoffs.
Oh, the Cowboys went 11-6 last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I did have the Cowboys in my predictions because they are in that division, going 7-10. I also had the Commies going 7-10, and the Giants going 4-13 because nobody thought that they were going to be competitive, like at all, much less make the playoffs.
The Commanders?
No, the Giants.
Oh yeah.
You had the Cowboys now going 15-2. Quote, watch them do it.
Didn't happen.
It did not.
Hey, 12-5 is a really good record still.
That is a good record for your former team.
Really did sound like a Cowboys fan.
That was your defense of them. You had them being also in a division where 3 teams made the playoffs. You had them as the only one with a winning record. You had the Commies going 8-9, second in the division. You had the Giants going 6-11, and finally, you had the Eagles also going 6-11, and I quote, just another bird team.
Okay, that shows that I did not know anything. I didn't know who they were. I didn't even know what quarterback they had. They are the bird team.
They're the bird team that almost won the Super Bowl.
Lost.
They got close.
Yeah.
No cigar. But you were a touch off there. And
Shut
then
the frick up.
I also did have the Eagles going all the way to the NFC Championship game, which no one else really had them doing. And then, of course, they went there and they won that. I had them losing it. But, I was a little bit higher on the Eagles than everyone else. And then they were a lot better than that.
That's cute.
It's so true. So that wraps up the NFC. Our playoff teams in the NFC. I had Bucks, Rams, Packers, Eagles, 49ers, Vikings, Saints. You had Bucks, Rams, Cowboys, Packers, Vikings, Cardinals, Panthers.
Jeez.
So a touch off. To the AFC side of things.
Indeed.
AFC North, I had the Cincinnati Bengals going 11-6, winning that division.
12-4.
I had the Ravens also going 11-6 and winning that division. Did they win 10 or 11 games this year? 10-7.
Excuse me. They went 10-7.
Only one game off, not bad at all. I had the Steelers going 9-8. Nailed it.
Yeah, you did, you sexy beast.
And I had the Browns going 5-12.
7-10.
7-10, 2 off there.
Close.
And then your AFC North predictions. Bengals going 13-4. So
I think if they won that game against,
if they had beat the Bills on Monday night there,
yeah, I would have had it.
You would have nailed it.
I would have been close.
You had the second place. You had the Steelers going 12-5. So a little bit off.
Touch off.
Ravens going 8-9. And then we both had the Browns going 5-12. There was just something about them in the offseason, I think, that just left a poor taste in our mouths.
The fact that they're the Browns.
I think that's why.
That's the one. You see that TikTok where that guy is just like, it is so statistically improbable that a team be this bad for this long and never have one good season ever. We just want to have fun watching a football game. We don't want to come to the game and be more depressed than we actually are in our real lives. And he was like, he lived in Cleveland, and like he was just talking about the Browns and how upset he was. He was like outside the stadium just videoing himself. Yeah. And it was sad.
I mean, they won a playoff game in 2020 against the Steelers, so like at least there's that. You did win a playoff game
against the
in
Steelers.
Recent history. So yeah, our AFC North standings, mine were pretty accurate. I got the order right, and I nailed the Steelers, so I'll take it.
I almost nailed the Bengals.
You did. I mean, no one was going to nail the Bengals because we thought they were going to play every game on their schedule.
If it's within one for them or the Bills,
I think it counts.
Yeah, I think I'll count it.
Let's see. We're going on to the AFC South, where we
Jaguars.
both had the Indianapolis Colts going 11-6.
Why did we have that?
Because they had a running back who was breaking out into being a star and a defense that had been solid for the last few years. And they added a veteran, Matt Ryan, who had carried that bad Falcons team that should have won 4 games to 7 wins. And so we were like, oh, perfect. Get Matt Ryan on a better team.
Not a team in the AFC South got to 10 wins.
Nope.
Altogether, they had 23 wins for 4 teams.
It was not a good division. And the Colts were like my dark horse Super Bowl team. I didn't pick them to go to the Super Bowl, and I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
Friend of ours
Friend
bet
of the show.
$10 that they'd go to the Super Bowl. The
$10,000.
$10 million that they'd go to the Super Bowl.
Did they go, or did he say win?
I think he said win.
I mean, either way.
Either
Terrible
way.
bet.
They didn't do it.
Easiest $10 anybody has ever won.
Yeah, and then we beat him up.
You're an idiot.
Facts. Keep going with your predictions.
I had the Jags going 8-9, so a game off there, but I didn't have them making the playoffs.
Yeah, 9-8.
You had the Jags going 3-14. I got several good quotes from you from that episode.
I don't think I had.
This one says, quote, I hate Trevor Lawrence. So
I think I was pretty based there.
I don't know. I mean, I saw someone rank Trevor Lawrence above Josh Allen in a quarterback ranking video the other day. So.
I see so much Josh Allen slander.
It's so dumb how much slander Josh Allen gets.
It is ridiculous.
People forget that he is a top 3 quarterback in the NFL.
Sometimes top 2, and sometimes he'll outplay Mahomes.
Occasionally,
when they play in the regular season.
Exactly. He'll outduel him.
Nice
Words.
Factual.
But yeah, that is another way too early prediction of mine is the Bills Super Bowl because everyone's just down on them right now. Everybody hates the Bills, and so that's why I'm picking them.
I think I should be more realistic and just know that they're going to lose to the Bengals or the Chiefs
or the Jags because they have a better quarterback. Moving on in the South, I had the Titans going 7-10. I think I nailed that, right?
You did, yeah.
7-10. And then you had the Titans going 4-13 and Derrick Henry getting hurt.
I did have that, yeah.
So he didn't get hurt, but they weren't great. They weren't 4 wins bad, but, not a good team. Mm-hmm. And then finally the Houston Texans. I thought they would be like above average bad.
Passable, maybe?
Yeah, they were 6-11. And what did they have? 3 wins, right? 4 wins?
3-13-1.
That's right. They had that tie to begin the season. Ugh. And then you were a little bit high in the Texans. You had them going 8-9. So losing record still, barely.
What can I say?
I don't know. What do you have to say for yourself?
Nothing. I'm an idiot. That's it.
2 more divisions left to go. AFC East. We both had the Bills taking the 1 seed. I had them going 13-4. You had them going 15-2. Yeah, on paper they looked really good, and they were the Super Bowl favorite going into the year.
Yeah.
I had the Patriots going 9-8, the Dolphins going 8-9, and the New York Jets going 5-12.
If you switch your Patriots and Dolphins, you got it right, and the
So I basically got it right.
Yeah, and the Jets were 7-10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't think the Jets were going to be like playoff contenders, though. I think they were 7-5 at one point.
They were, and then those
And
two
then-
rookies. They got those two rookies that were really good. And
Mm-hmm. Well, they had a quarterback.
they might have one this upcoming season.
They might. His
His name might be Aaron Rodgers.
It might be Derek Carr also.
I don't like that.
The Patriots, you had them going 8-9. You had the Jets going 7-10. Boom, nailed that. And you had the Dolphins going 5-12.
You could have said that bad part first.
I don't know why you did, but you did.
I did. It's true.
And then the most competitive division in the NFL, or at least
No.
that's what everyone told us for 6 months.
It's not.
Because Russell Wilson and Devontae Adams and Khalil Mack and
Oh man, I really hope I didn't.
and everybody.
I didn't. No,
What are you concerned about?
that I ranked the Broncos really high.
You had the Broncos going 15-2. Not actually. I'll let you know where you are in a second.
Thanks.
So I had the Chiefs going 12-5.
14-3.
I had the Raiders and the Chargers going 11-6 and grabbing wild card spots.
Chargers went 10-7, and the Raiders are 6-11.
And then I had the Broncos just missing out on the playoffs at 10-7. So I basically nailed it.
Basically.
At least I wasn't like David and had the Broncos going to the Super Bowl.
Come on, David.
You had the Chargers taking the division with a
Paper Bowl.
14-3 record. You had the Chiefs going 12-5,
Okay.
similar to myself. You had the Raiders going 11-6,
They went 6-11, so basically.
basically nailed it. And then you had the Broncos going 4-13.
I was really close.
You absolutely nailed that. That's the one I was telling you about earlier.
I didn't nail that. They
That
went
you-
5-12.
You were one game off, and you had the Broncos being awful, and nobody else did.
Oh, thanks.
That's what I'm saying. Your reasoning, though, was because you didn't like horses. And also you forgot Russell Wilson was on the team, which, was probably for the better for you, honestly.
Yeah.
So you win best prediction because nobody, and I mean nobody, thought they were going to be that bad. There were probably a few people that were like, oh, Russell Wilson's overhyped and they're only going to win 8 games. Nobody thought they were going to win 4 or 5 games last year. And so you can just, that covers like the multitude of your sins in all the other ones.
Sweet victory from SpongeBob.
Absolutely.
That's what's playing right now.
Nailed it. My AFC playoff teams, Bills, Chiefs, Bengals, Colts, Raiders, Chargers, Ravens. So I think only 2 of those, the Colts and Raiders, didn't make it.
They did not.
And the other teams all did, though.
Yeah.
So I got 5 out of 7 there. You had Bills, Chargers, Bengals, Colts, Chiefs, Steelers, Raiders. So
I was close.
you had a few more off. You had 3 off.
Raiders didn't make it.
Colts didn't make
Colts
it. Steelers
didn't make
didn't.
it. Steelers didn't make it. And the Dolphins did, along with the Chargers.
And
Or
then
along with the Ravens, excuse me.
our Super Bowl predictions. I had the Bills over the Rams.
Cute
Oof.
prediction.
You had Bills over Bucks.
Also a cute prediction, but mine was
Slightly better because yours was possible when the playoffs started.
what was our playoff the championship rounds like?
For predictions?
Yeah, prediction.
We didn't. I don't think we did that. Or no, I think we did. I didn't write it down because I didn't
Yeah.
care.
I think I had it.
I know I had Eagles Rams in the NFC.
Yeah, you did because you were talking about that. I think I had the Chiefs there.
You probably had Chiefs Bills. Either that or probably like Bengals.
I don't think I had
Just
Bengals.
looking at the playoff teams that we have here.
But regardless, I'm stupid and ugly.
But hey, you accidentally almost nailed the Broncos. Boom shakalaka. And we nailed a few of these records.
Yeah, we got a couple of them. I think I'll do better next year.
So now
Hopefully-
it's time to just absolutely overthink everything and be completely wrong in August again.
I'm not going to overthink everything, but I'm just going to think a tiny bit more than I did last time. Because last time,
You're going to
But
look at the standings next time.
I didn't even know what like half the teams were. I was like, what's that horse?
I don't like horses.
I don't like that horse. It's not supposed to have a red mane. And then And then like for the longest
There's
time,
another bird team?
what the heck? I thought the longest time I thought the Steelers logo was the Subaru logo. And I didn't know if the Texans were good or not.
Clearly, you had them winning 8 games.
Yeah. And I just didn't like
Trevor Lawrence. Because of fantasy football.
I feel like I was based.
I don't think
I
you
stand
were.
by what I said.
Sure.
But I'll have them winning more games next year.
You'll have them going all the way
16
and
1.
beating the Bills.
16-0-1. They're going to tie to the Bills.
Undefeated.
Yep.
Boom.
Win the Super Bowl. So
Yeah, that's what happened. Let us know some of your worst playoff predictions from this past season, or just predictions in general. Were you really high on the Broncos like most people were?
Yeah, are you really behind the Broncos? Are the Chargers going to do another Chargers year and be good on paper? Is Tom Brady going to come back?
Please no.
Please no. Is
Yeah,
Patrick Mahomes going to win another MVP?
Also.
Can you talk over me as when I talk?
Okay.
Were you trying to do it as I was talking? You keep okay. Is Deshaun Watson going to ball out and get his MVP?
You know it.
We'll see.
17-0.
7-10 is not the worst record in football right now.
It's not. It's true.
Neither is 5-12.
Yeah.
I think Russell Wilson could be good next year, and I think he won't be at the bottom of his division.
I think he's going to bounce back and not be the worst.
It could be a competitive division next year. I think Pickens and Pickett are going to be a good combo next year for the Steelers. Hopefully, Lamar comes back for the Ravens.
I think he does. There's almost no way he doesn't.
Yeah. And the Bengals hopefully get a better offensive line, but if they don't need it anyway. I saw somebody talking, I think it was like Joe Burrow's high school basketball coach. He was talking about how they were down 8 points with 30 seconds to go, and Joe Burrow scored 9 points.
Oh, wow.
And
with no offensive line.
Well, he didn't have one, yeah.
Yeah.
And
don't even put them on the field. Just get a bunch of more wide receivers.
I don't even. It wasn't a field. It was a basketball court.
No, I'm talking about football though.
I'm
he doesn't
talking
need
about basketball, but he. I think a buddy of the coach was like a psych professor or whatever, and he said that Joe Burrow is either has the mentality of like a firefighter, a first responder, or a serial killer, because he has no like stress. He never gets stressed out in a situation. He never gets like pressure or feels pressure or anything. That's why he works so well with zero pocket.
That's why he's the GOAT.
That's why he works so well with that. I don't think anybody else could work with that, honestly. Like that O-line with it collapsing like that.
Oh, yeah. They got to keep building it. It was better this year than it
just
was
have to
last
run
year,
it in like 20 yards back, a long snapper, and just like shotgun it down the field.
20-yard pass picks up 5 yards.
Yeah, that's what the Kelsey brothers were talking about, like all skilled positions against all linemen. For a game. We can talk about that next time. See what would happen.
I think next episode, it's either going to be our way too early predictions or reacting to our quarterback rankings that we had at the beginning of the season, and then probably our updated quarterback rankings now at the end of the year.
Yeah, and then we'll do a fun thing called a paper bowl. Which team we think's the best on a scale of 1 to 10 per player, per coach, whatever, however they add up, and then we'll see that way who numbers wise will win the Super Bowl, in our opinion.
That'll be coming up in a couple weeks here.
That'll be in a couple weeks. We'll do AFC, NFC. So we have some stuff planned for the off season. I think it's gonna be a fun off season.
Let us know any ideas you have for episodes, because the off season is long and boring.
And we might be looking at the XFL or the.
Oh yeah, we might be doing some XFL maybe next episode, because you don't have an XFL team.
I don't know.
So we might randomize it up, and then for the USFL, neither of us have a team for that, so we might just spin a wheel and then dedicate our lives to those teams.
Yeah, so a bunch of fun stuff to come in the off season. Stick around for that.
Yeah, we got free agency coming up in about a month, so that should be exciting. That should be a good episode.
Yeah, with
some free agency.
OBJ coming out and hopefully being able to play next year. So we'll see.
Yeah, unless he gets hurt again.
Yeah. Have a good one. Bye bye.
Yep. See ya.
Subscribe and like and follow.
Do all the things.
Content.